Hello, welcome back to my daily Tour Divide coverage. This is day 12, so let's head over to track leaders and see what's going on. And the big news is that Robin is pretty much there. He's currently probably about a mile to go now. Just waiting for the track to refresh here. I've been doing this for the last hour and he's gradually easing down towards Antelope Wells. So I suspect he's going to be finishing a little after 2 a.m. local time. So that's going to be a sub 12 day Tour Divide, which is pretty phenomenal. That's an absolutely world-class performance from Robin on his first attempt at the Divide, no less as well. So that will be the fastest time ever down the route. And that's just absolutely incredible. So Robin did send me a little message. I'll play it out right now. And then hopefully in the next couple of minutes, he will have finished. So this is what Robin said. This was just after he hit the final stretch of tarmac to the finish there.
Hey Josh, thought you might be interested in my 2 cents. Almost there. 31 k's to go. Asphalt only. These arrivals are never as emotional as I imagine them, at least for me. Like I get very emotional during the race, but then when there, it is just how it is, usually. I think probably also this time. Been a pretty interesting one. Tough one, of course. Somehow also wanted more and more and more throughout the race, and then got kicked in my face with that fire detour, which somehow, was a good exercise how to deal with these kind of things. And I feel like I did a pretty good job. So, as I'm happy, it's complex, but for sure, it's pretty mad performance.
So that's Robin. He's obviously it's a weird feeling when you kind of get to the end of the Tour Divide. It's almost like you don't really want it to end. You're out there by yourself for so long that you just kind of, I don't know. It's an odd feeling just ending that journey like that, and a very remote place to finish as well. We'll keep an eye on the tracker. So Robin is currently 2.9 miles away from the finish. So we'll circle back round and check the tracker in a short while. Before we go any further, just as you know by now, I'm supported by Redshift, and this coverage is supported by Redshift. So a big thank you for those guys for all their support. Loads of really cool bike components, so you know where to look for that stuff. And also Enduro bearings, again, really good, durable, long-lasting bottom brackets, bearings, jockey wheels, all the kind of thing that can wear out when you're riding something like the Tour Divide. So check those guys out. And thanks again for all the support. I'll do a bit of a roundup of the rest of the field, and then we'll get back to the finish and see if see when Robin's done. So the battle for second and third place is getting pretty exciting. I mean, we talked about it the last few days. Yesterday, Jens was ahead of Jochen and Max. And it sounds like they've all ended up in Grants. So Jens seems to be on a slightly, he seems to be getting there slightly earlier, sleeping, and then starting again while the others are in town. So both Jochen and Max are now in Grants. Again, anything can happen with these riders. Jochen sent me a pretty lengthy voice note. I won't play it out because it's nearly 10 minutes long. But essentially he said he got to Abbey yesterday. If you remember back, Jens was there. Jochen got there, and I did mention the gas station had quite sort of strict opening hours. So Jens got there before the gas station shut. He got a hotel to stay. Jochen turned up after the gas station and then couldn't get any food. So he said he found a lodge, and all they had was some like old food in that people had left in the kitchen, like some slightly stale bread and some slightly off milk and some cereals, which he ate, which may have been a bad idea because he set off early before the gas station opened, and then he had a bad stomach. and it slowed him down quite significantly to Cuba. I think he's okay now, but yeah, it was maybe foolish. You never know with these things. But essentially, Max then closed the gap, and you can see they're all in the same place. But it looks like Jens is up and rolling early on the highway to Pie Town. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Further back, we've had quite a few scratches. I'll get onto those shortly because there's some Instagram stories about those. But Xavier Chiriboga, he'll be in 5th position now. So he's doing a solid ride there. Mike Martin, again, he seems to be catching Xavier. So yeah, he's doing a really solid ride. And I actually finally got hold of him to get a voice note as well. So let's just hear what Mike said. This would have been yesterday morning. It actually arrived just after I recorded. So it's about 24 hours old. But yeah, we'll see what Mike has to say.
I wanted to send you a quick audio note. Been a while since we've been trying to connect. I'm in Del Norte. As I say, Mike Martin, Vancouver, BC, 48 years old. Pretty cracked at this point in time. Body is feeling it. Everything's feeling it. Yeah, looking forward to just pushing through here. Not sure what else to say other than you don't really have an appreciation for this route until you go out and do it and realize how desolate and hard and harsh it is, and that's the route. And then, but ultimately, you find yourself in a town somewhere, and there's some people that cheer you on and lift your spirits. But yeah, fuck, it's a grind out there every day, man. It's a fucking grind out there every day. And anyway, hope that gives you some insight in terms of where I'm at. I gotta get going here. It's 2 a.m, so just eating some pizza for breakfast and looking to get back on the bike here, get into New Mexico.
So yeah, that's Mike. Thanks, Mike, for sending that in. So yeah, he's doing a really solid and consistent ride. So yeah, him and Xavier staying in the same place by the looks of it. Again, that's a nice little battle to keep an eye on. And then we heard from Andrew Onamar yesterday, and yeah, he's continued his charge. He's really flying at the moment. You can see he's well ahead of Chris Plesko's single speed record at the moment. So yeah, he seemed pretty committed to trying to beat that on his voice note yesterday. Benjamin Hohen, he's still riding strong. Dirty Dan, he's made a good comeback after his setbacks in the start of the week. Martin van Heverbecker, we've not really mentioned him too much. I've showed a few stories, but he's a veteran of this. He knows what he's doing. So yeah, strong ride there with Robert Pearson, a fellow Belgian rider, Yossi Barak. So yeah, lots going on. Our lead woman, Natalie Bayon, she looks like she's slowed down fairly significantly, certainly compared to Megan Hackinen's fastest time from last year. So yeah, it looks like she'll be going over Indiana Pass by the looks of it. So yeah, doing a strong ride there, still leading the women's race. And yeah, got a fairly healthy gap over Anna Jager. I think it's about 80 odd miles, probably a bit more actually, probably 120 or so maybe. So yeah, that's looking like, as long as she keeps moving, it's looking like she's got this kind of fairly comfortably under control. Further back, the race for the podium in the women's race. The other day we had them all, as you remember, staying in the same hotel in Wamsutter. But Karen Pocock, she seems to be stretching ahead of the others. Alexandra Houchin, she's probably, 20 miles or so behind Karen. So it's not an insurmountable gap. But yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Gillian Hatch she'll be at Silverthorne. And then Quinda Verhoel, she seems to have slipped back a little bit. And but yeah, they're all doing really fantastic rides there. So let's just head back down to Antelope Wells, see if Robin's finished yet. He really can't be too far away. 1.7 miles. So yeah, he's almost there on that final long stretch. I'll just take you over to Ride with GPS. We can have a little look to see what he's actually doing. So you may remember that there was a slightly new section kind of added last year. Where you used to ride down the highway the whole way to the finish from Hachita, this little section of Continental Divide Trail was added in last year. Makes it a little bit tougher, a little bit slower. It was quite a bit slower, and certainly very frustrating from what I heard from the riders last year. But yeah, now this long straight section here is basically, you can just see for miles. There's nothing around. You can see the hills in the distance. You can't even see the finish till you're basically on it, because there's a very slight drag just before the finish there, and then you finish at the border gates. And yeah, sit in front of the sign. There's normally not anyone there, and yeah, you hope someone comes and picks you up. Jeff Sharp, he's a guy who lives in Hachita. He normally kind of comes to rescue riders. Some of the first few riders might have someone there, or maybe some family, but generally it's a quite a lonely experience finishing the Tour Divide. But it feels quite fitting actually. So in 2019, I got there, must have been about midnight, just after, and there was no one there. I just sat there for half an hour before I got picked up. But it's quite nice and quite an important time just to sit and reflect, because people, it's easy to watch these dots, but unless you're kind of actually there, it's very hard to explain how it feels being, riding that distance and then suddenly it all just stopping, because you're just so used to it by that point. So yeah, just waiting for Robin to finish now. So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the Instagram stories, and then we'll revert back to track leaders, and hopefully I've wasted enough time for Robin to ride 1.7 miles. So yeah, get a move on, Robin, so we can finish this. So picked out a few stories. So starting with Dan, Dirty Dan. He's this is just what you're eating in when you're riding Tour Divide every day. If you can stop in a diner, you'll probably order 2 plates. And if you're not from the States, you may not know that the portions are massive. And it's amazing how much you can just, eat in one sitting. I think my go-to on Divide was, certainly in the southern part, was a big portion of pancakes and a big portion of French toast and a whole jug of coffee. And I could eat that in like 10 minutes pretty comfortably. So yeah, you just got to keep the furnace going, really. So yeah, there's Dan, and yeah, we've heard there's been a little bit of rain, nothing major in terms of peanut butter mud, but you can see the conditions do get a little bit trickier. There's been some showers in that final section, so yeah, it's another little thing for everyone to contend with. Here's Robin. This was him just before nighttime yesterday, so let's hear Robin.
3:30 p.m. day 11. Just missed the thunderstorm and left Silver City. Fiery route done. Home straight. Yappa yappa. So I mentioned I escaped the thunderstorm. 9999.
So yeah, Tour Divide's never over until it's over, and it looks like Robin got caught by some of those storms, but I've not heard him say anything about mud. But this was the final stretch, or when he got off the Continental Divide Trail onto that home run. So yeah, let's just hear what he says.
So Tarantula, thousands of thunderstorms around me. So I'm soaked, tired, but we're almost there. 50 k's left on asphalt. Nothing happens, out of here. Also, if you need advice on how to take selfie videos at night and how to deal with the lighting, feel free to contact me.
So it's good to hear that even after all of that, he's still got a sense of humour. So yeah, any advice on shooting a selfie with at night with a light, then hit Robin up. This is Max Reza. So this would have been the section of the Continental Divide Trail as you enter New Mexico. So you can kind of see the kind of single track that the riders are dealing with. It's more of a hiking trail, which is not overly technical in the grand scheme of mountain biking, but it can be a bit of a shock after just riding on dirt roads for the vast majority of the route. And it's like, yeah, he's been using his bivy bag. This probably would have been last night before. Where did he stay? maybe before Abiquiu. I think he stayed somewhere. And yeah, again, more peanut butter mud. You can see it's starting to stick on the tyres there. I mean, this isn't the worst peanut butter mud in the world, but it does just slow you down and make life a little bit more difficult. Finally, or not finally, another story. Karen Pocock, we've been talking about her, and she's made a really good move into third position in the women's race. So let's just hear a little update from Karen.
So 168-ish miles in, paddling up Lynx Pass. There are amazing constellations pretty much everywhere. It's sad the video doesn't really, background light, but you ever think how much we get to see the constellations in the night sky because it's a race and not a tour? Because realistically, we'd be sleeping right now if we were touring. It's like one of the more magical parts about all this. It's a total glass half full day, even though I am beat. I would like a nap, but I am on a mission for my postal general delivery in Frisco and Frisco, US.
So yeah, that was Karen, and obviously riding at night, and yeah, it's pretty special out there on the Divide. You know, there's not always a lot of kind of artificial light around, and you can really see the stars. And I've experienced it in a lot of these events, like riding Morocco on the Atlas race and Kyrgyzstan in the Silk Road, and sometimes I just turn my lights off and ride in the light of the moon and the stars, and it's a pretty cool experience. And like Karen said there, it's one that you probably wouldn't often get outside of an ultra race scenario. Also, there's been some scratches, and Jacob Horer, he's been doing a really, really fantastic ride, but it sounds like he's scratched. So yeah, he's put this post up, and basically he's okay, but he's managed to crash. I've not seen details of his crash, but he's basically fractured. So this is the post. I do know I'm okay. I can walk, have motion, etc. But I have a fractured C7 vertebrae, and they had to move me from Del Norte to Pueblo because they didn't have the correct staff space. Really bad for Jacob. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but he obviously hit the ground pretty hard there. In hospital, and looked like got helicoptered out. So yeah, he's left the race in the medevac helicopter. So yeah, really sucks for Jacob. He was really looking strong there. So yeah, but as a young rider, I'm sure he'll recover well, and hopefully he'll come back. And then Alexandra Houchin, she's loving life out on the Divide. So let's hear from Alexandra.
If you've done the Divide before, you'll know where I am. And you'll know that cloud cover is like the biggest gift in the whole world in this section. So I feel so lucky. Amazing. Not gonna lie, I have been thinking about ice cream for a long time, ever since Anna Yeager mentioned the likelihood of having a milkshake ID. I think that sounds quite lovely. Hold on, click up 8 million gears. Ute Pass. Summit County, baby! I had a good day today. I found some peace. I had a picnic lunch by a Porto toilet. Nope, a pit toilet. Pit toilet in the lake. And I like the Tour Divide again.
So yeah, that is someone having an incredibly great time on the Divide. So yeah, great to hear from Alexandra. So yeah, that's it with the stories, and so let's go back to track leaders and hit refresh. And has he finished yet? I reckon we've got a bouncing dot. So Robin Gemperle has finished the Tour Divide. probably about 2, it's 2:18 local time, so about 2:15. So 11 days, 19 hours, and probably 10 or so minutes. And there we go. It's just turned to finished on track leaders there. So yeah, that is an absolutely world-class ride from Robin. It's pretty incredible. He's the fastest guy to ride down the Tour Divide. I don't care, if there's fiery routes or anything like that. That's substantially faster than anyone else. The nearest time was Lachlan Morton when he did his ride a couple of summers ago, and that was 12 and a half days. So yeah, he's gone over a day faster. So yeah, Robin Gemperle is your 2025 Tour Divide champion. So with that, I shall leave it. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully hear some reflection from Robin. Check out that tight race for third place, and see how everyone else is getting on, and see how the women's race is developing as well. So thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you again tomorrow for another one. See you then.